Alright folks, I just got back from my newspaper route and a red helicopter. Totally divine appointment. Can you find love in a helicopter? Of course you can. It's love plus 3, and you pop off the C, which is 3 in the middle, and you've got love plus love. So let's get it on the board, solving every helicopter in the name of love. And it was red. For the record, it was red. 3 times 3 times 3, red is the king of colors. And I have never had a helicopter fly so low and so directly over top of me in my life. Ordained by heaven. I'm out in the second cul-de-sac that I deliver newspapers in, and at a screamingly low level, a bright, deep, red helicopter goes directly over my head. Like, I look up and it is like perfectly centered over top of me. Never have I had a helicopter fly so low and so directly over top of me, and it's bright red, which is the king of colors, 3 times 3 times 3, and helicopter equals love plus 3. So let's get it on the board so it's official in world history. And of course, if you study the history of the invention of the helicopter, you'll find so many 3s in that, and the original design is all based on 3 blades, and 3 blades divided by 3, and the whole thing is like pure triangles, and it's like construction, and it was all German made. And okay, so let's just slam a piece of real estate right here for the word helicopter and find the 2 loves. And specifically, it was a red helicopter, red being the king of colors. So I have a red in my pocket here. So helicopter equals 111 perfectly. And so that's love plus 3. So pop off the C in the middle, which is 3, and then find the other 2 loves. Well, the easiest thing you can do right off the bat is PTR equals love number 1, and the rest equals love number 2. Done. So we're already done. And that's and what's cool about that is you can, wow. And then you've got 27 plus another 27 in the remaining love. So that's one way you can do it. I'm curious if you can do all the 27s. I don't think you can. No, you can do a pair of 27s. LO is irresistible, 27. You can do IR, which is another 27, and then the rest is this P and this T, or a P and an H, 24 plus 30, that's nice balanced teams, or you can go PT, do it in 18s, 18, 36, 18, 27, 27. Very easy though. So, helicopter equals love plus 3 on top equals 111. There you go. And that is accomplished in 9 letters, which is 3 times 3. And just checking the number of, yeah, that's fine. So helicopter equals love plus 3 in 9 letters, which is 3 times 3. And of course, it was a red helicopter. Red equals half a love. So add that to the party. Good night. Okay. So there you go. Every helicopter has been solved to the glory of Triune God. And then I had another divine appointment on this route that I want to share with you, where words out of my own mouth divide by 3, and I get this all the time. Okay? The Holy Ghost lives inside of you. He speaks through you. Okay? And I was backing up out of a driveway onto a street, and I could clearly see and hear that there was a car coming, and so I put on the brakes. Obviously. The car that was coming is a person who's what we call weak in faith. A fearful person. They obviously saw me with my rear backup white lights on, and they honked the horn. Okay, even though I'm stopped, and I'm clearly seeing them and waiting for them to go by. And the words that came out of my mouth were, I see you, relax. And it was a divine moment, because not only does that phrase divide by 3, and you can find love in it so beautifully, but that's exactly the Word of God to all of us down here. God is the one that knows everything, knows what He's going to do, is in total control, and God says to all of us, I see you, relax. we're all like getting all like emotional, like honking the horn, like, God, this is all wrong. Like, stop, you don't know what you're doing. My life is out of control. Honk, honk, blowing the stack at other people, getting frustrated, being angry with others, getting all fearful and all like up in arms. And God the whole time is just saying, I see you. Relax. It was a divine moment, just a divine teaching moment that I'll never forget, and now I'm recording it on video to share it with all those people who will be blessed by it. I'm backing out of the driveway, I see the car coming, I put on the brakes, they freak out for some reason, honk the horn, like, and the words out of my mouth were, I see you, relax. And that's the word of God to all of us. I see you, relax. I am sovereign, God says. I am in total control. You're my child. I love you. Relax. Okay? And so let's put that word that came out of my mouth on the board and find love in it, because relax is the king word for love. All the letters that divide by 3 in perfect trident pitchfork fashion make love perfectly. And they all differ by 6, going up in 6s. I'm just going to... Where do I want to squeeze this? I'll just erase that word red over the helicopter there, and I'll just write it right here. I see you. This is a word of God to you. I see you. Relax. I see you. Relax. Okay? And it's very easy to do this in your mind. Like I did this in my mind as soon as it came out of my mouth. This chain links here to make 30. You got 36 here. You got 24 here. I is 9, and then relax all divides by 3, relax equals 60, with these 3 letters divided by 3 equaling love. Okay, so this is a word from God. Look at this, this equals love right here. There's another love. And then this is 9 plus quadruple 9, and you got another 6 on top. So you got love plus another 51. Okay, it's 159. So it's all pure 3s. It's a word from God to all humanity. I see you. Relax. This is the way Jesus spoke in the storm with his disciples. They were all freaking out, saying, we're dying, this is all wrong, Jesus. This is all wrong. This storm is wrong. This situation is wrong. This is all wrong, Jesus. Jesus is asleep, wakes up, says, no, this is all perfect. Why are you so fearful? Where is your faith? Relax. If the disciples had fallen asleep beside Jesus and not said anything, the ship would have turned out fine. But God is sovereign, and the story played out the way it was supposed to play out. Okay? If there's one thing that God wants to do in your life continually as a Christian, it's mature your faith. Increase your faith. If there's even 1 ounce of fear inside of you, that's got to go. Okay? Stop worrying. Stop being afraid. The godless world is freaked out. That's why they're so restless. That's why they can never stop. That's why they're just so restless. They're freaked out. They don't know what's going to happen. They're afraid. I see you. Relax. It's all working according to my plan. Okay, I love that though. I love the red helicopter gem. I love the personal gems that God ordains in my life. Because again, folks, we can scoop up the entire dictionary, we can scoop up all of Wikipedia, we can do this analytically and scholarly, which we have been doing and should do. But I love the gems that just are outside of my control, like that God ordains, that I don't expect and just happen in my personal life. Like, while I'm doing my newspaper route this morning, a bright red helicopter flies directly over my head at the lowest height I have ever had a helicopter fly over my head. And of course, when you're delivering papers early in the morning by sunrise, it was around 6 a.m. at that time, lovely 6 there, 3s, and the name of the paper I deliver is The Province. On Sunday, that's the only one that gets delivered. Sunday divides by 3, The Province divides by 3. And when you deliver that early by morning sunrise, there's no other sounds except chirping birds and you. Nothing, basically. And so here comes this bright red helicopter flying directly overhead. And when I say directly, I mean directly. Like I look up and the thing is like perfectly in line with my soul. At the lowest height I've ever had a helicopter fly over my head, period. Bright red. And so, I do the math on helicopter, I've done it before. Helicopter equals 111, love plus 3. There's a lot of helicopters in this world. Does God like helicopters? Yes. Does the word helicopter glorify Him day and night? Yes. Helicopter equals love plus 3. The glory of the Trinity. And then dig up the history of the helicopter and the original design. You look at go to a helicopter museum, you'll see the original helicopter design is like so full of triangles and 3 blades, and it's just a giant 3 fest of geometry. And study the names of the people behind it, you'll get more 3s, and where it was first flown and all the rest of it. But God saves the best for last. And to this day we've got millions of helicopters, and it's this exact set of letters. So it's both satisfying. It's like Jesus said, every scribe or scholar instructed in the kingdom of heaven is one who brings out of his treasure store things new and old. That's exactly what these numbers revelations are. Okay? We solve what exists today in the here and now by God's ordinance. That's things new. And we solve things old. We solve the origin of the helicopter. God has preserved His history for our ability to do that. Very satisfying. And both gems are delightful in their own way. Okay? So, the question everyone wants to know is, can I find love in a helicopter? Of course you can. If you can't find love in a helicopter, where can you find love? And this reminds me of a personal helicopter experience which I will never forget. One of the only times I have ever flown in a helicopter, it just occurred to me, is when I took a helicopter tour over Hawaii. Oh man. And it was so beyond exceptional. I got to sit, they fill up the helicopter, but I was praying that I would get the front right seat right beside the captain. The pilot, of course, divides by 3. And I did. And I was sitting right in the front, and of course they make them all glass helicopters so that you can see as much as possible on these tour helicopters. But the coolest part of all about my experience is that the night before, there was torrential rains, like record-breaking rains, all over Hawaii. And so much so that the streets were flooding. And then the next morning, it was gone. It was like bright sunny. Well, what that did is produce waterfalls galore. Which when you see from the air, like flying over Kauai, I believe I did a helicopter tour over Kauai. You can do many helicopter tours, but I did the Kauai one. Kauai is the Garden Isle. It's the greenest of all the islands of Hawaii, and it has the most waterfalls of all the islands of Hawaii. Like that's its big claim to fame. That's why it's called the Garden Isle. Well, by Divine Ordinance, the very day before, they had record-breaking torrential rains. So much so that the streets were flooding. And everyone was shut up indoors, basically. But then the very next day, and I had this helicopter tour booked, of course, in advance. The very next day, gorgeous sunny day, and I get to sit right in the front next to the pilot for this helicopter tour over Kauai, the island of Kauai in Hawaii. And there were more waterfalls flowing in abundance than you could ever see on that helicopter tour at any point because of the torrential rains the day before, day and night. And it was overwhelming. It was so beautiful and so breathtaking, I thought I was in a fantasy. Like a better fantasy than any filmmaker has ever, like there were hundreds of waterfalls from the air, because, you know, in the air in a helicopter, and then he dips down into the canyons and you pass through the waterfalls, and we were getting spray on the windshield, but there were hundreds of waterfalls amidst the lush green. Like that island is just lush green. I can't remember the time of year I was there, but it was just lush. And there was waterfalls, just hundreds of them. And so the colors of white plus green, and white plus green is a divine color combination. White is 65 plus green is 49. Together they make 114 divided by 3. That's exactly 3 points higher than helicopter. And then, of course, waterfalls, plural, divides by 3. Okay, because God is plural. God is 3 persons. God is a generous God. So he gives us tons of waterfalls to look at. And I got the full baptism on that helicopter tour. As I'm thinking about it now, that may actually be the first time that I've been in a helicopter. What a fantastic first time experience to get that kind of treatment, where you see more waterfalls on the Garden Isle of Hawaii, the most beautiful island from the air. And most people say it is the most beautiful helicopter tour from the air that you can get. It's the most popular, it's the most visited and touristed. If you go to Hawaii and you're going to do a helicopter tour, if you're going to do a helicopter tour of any place on earth, I would personally recommend the Kauai, Hawaii helicopter tour, because the island is so stunning from the air. It'll just take your breath away every single moment. I believe I took video of it somewhere, but that's long gone, lost. You remember these things in your mind. Now I don't take video of anything anymore, because you're supposed to enjoy the moment. Don't take video of anything. You know, you see these Olympic athletes, you know, holding up their dumb cell phones, like as they're walking in the Parade of Nations into the stadium. I'm like, don't do that. Don't pull out your phone and record things. Enjoy the moment. God gave you eyes and omnivision for a reason. Don't stare at a device in the moments that you've been, you know, don't live life through a camera. I used to take photos of things, and as I'm making a video on camera, this is for truth purposes, for Gloria. But anyways, so, and now that I think about it, that might be actually the only time. I'm sure I've been in a helicopter outside of that excursion, but actually it might not be. Well, there you go. And then, seeing as we're in the neighborhood and flying vehicles, let's find love in an airplane. And you must spell it the British spelling here. Aeroplane, in order for it all to divide by 3. This is how the British spell it, and you must spell it British. Aero, like the chocolate bar. So can you find love in an airplane? Of course you can. Let's go. You got an L and an O. 27, just like in helicopter. And then, well, let's see if we can get another 27. I don't know if we can. So let's just start getting what we can. What does it all come to? 24 plus 30. Oh, there's another love. 54 plus 6. Comes to 87 equals truth. 24 points less than helicopter. So I found a love right here. PNAER. There's one love plus half a love plus another 6. Okay, done. So we found love in an airplane. There you go. Notice that you must use the British spelling. Okay. Oh, folks, I wasn't even telling you the truth when I said helicopter is 9 letters. No, it's 10 letters. But when something is 10 letters, that glorifies number 3, because the word 10, T-E-N, in 3 letters and 9 strokes divides by 3. 10 equals 39. Okay. In text, that's what matters. It's what comes out of your mouth. And then the word letters divides by 3. So when you say 10 letters, that whole phrase divides by 3. Okay. And as does 9 letters, because 9, N-I-N-E, divides by 3. So aeroplane, as it is correctly spelt by the British, aeroplane in 9 letters divides by 3. And we found love. Love plus half a love, very beautifully, plus a bonus 6 points. And now what's cool about that, ooh, this is beautiful. The 6 points are the bookends, because take the A from the front of aeroplane and the E from the back of the plane there. There's your bonus 6, and now you've got love plus half a love in the center, which is literally, of course, 81. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then, oh yeah, I remember solving this. And look at the symmetry then. I'm going to switch to blue so we can see it better. I know this is a very crowded board, but look at the symmetry then. So here's the center of aeroplane, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 love plus half a love. Here's the bookends, the bonus 6. And then look where the half a love is, L-O, are perfectly central in their spacing. Right there, boom. And then the rest equals love perfectly. Amazing. With an R18 there. and then AN 15 there, and then an EP left over. Wow, 3 teams that divide by 3 going up in 3s. Exceptional. And those 3 teams are 15 plus 18 plus 21 to equal love perfectly. And then you've got the other half of love, the L and the O, just perfectly central. Half of love, perfectly central. Love, perfectly central. Composed, and the half of love is composed of 2 teams that divide by 3, differing by 3, 12 plus 15. And then the full love is 15 plus 18 plus 21. And then the bookends are bonus 6 points on top to add aeroplane to love plus half of love plus 6. Count the number of strokes just to see if there's an additional beauty in there. It doesn't quite divide by 3, but you can get it together. So I'm telling you, I've just proven mathematically that the British English spelling of aeroplane is the correct spelling. And the whole world needs to get it fixed. The whole world needs to change. Now, I do believe in the sovereignty of God that if you spell it airplane, A-I-R, plane, that that knits together with other things. But I'm telling you, this is clearly the most glorious 3-fest. This British spelling of aeroplane. And I think if the entire world changed the spelling of airplane to aeroplane as it's supposed to be, for the maximum mathematical glory of the Trinity in the name of love, that would be completely worth doing. Okay? And over again in all these videos, we have proven every single time that the British spelling, the British English spelling of all words is more mathematically superior for the glory of the Trinity. Why? Because the British Empire is the Davidic throne, which God swore would last forever and would be blessed above all. Read the Bible and all the promises that God made to David about his kingdom and how it would be blessed and how it would last forever. That is the British Empire. Queen Elizabeth is of the direct bloodline of King David. Okay? And the British monarchy is the ongoing fulfillment of God's promise for King David's throne to last forever until, of course, Jesus Christ returns and inherits the throne of David, as it says, and becomes, king over all the earth and the new heavens and the new earth and all that stuff. So if you are a part of the British Empire, which I am, having been born in Langley, BC, Canada, which divides by 3, and I live there right now, then you are very blessed indeed. And if you speak English, you are very blessed indeed. But you need to speak and spell English properly, which is according to the British spelling. Okay? Because remember, that is the official language of the bloodline of King David, which is why English is blessed above all languages. Why is English the #1 language in the world? Why is it the first language at the Olympic Games and all international sporting events and all international events and gatherings and meetings and committees? Because it is the language on the lips of the bloodline of the heirs of King David. Queen Elizabeth is that person. So listen to the Queen's English. Copy the language that the Queen speaks down to the letter. You need to speak British English. You need to spell British English. Because that is the language which God has blessed because of King David. Okay? That's why. That is why English is the king. And that is why the British Empire has been the largest empire. It is still the largest in terms of the Commonwealth. Certainly since, you study British history. I'm not here to walk through all of that. It is so. There. So if there's ever a British spelling of an English word and a non-British spelling, like American or something like that, the British is always correct, and it is always mathematically superior. So yes, everyone else needs to fix their spelling and change it completely. There you go. So, every aeroplane, spelled like this, solved for the glory of the Trinity. And it's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? Love in a beautiful 3 trident, plus half a love right in the center, plus 6 bonus on the end. Wow, could you ask for more in the word aeroplane? And then every helicopter solved in the name of love. And folks, it's like I always say, there's only one thing better than an aeroplane, and that's a red aeroplane. I live in Canada, where our color is red. I want to see some full red Canadian airplanes in this country. I want to see a new Canadian airline that is bright red. The entire plane is red. Solid, gorgeous red. Because red equals 3 times 3 times 3, half a love, perfectly, in 3 letters. It is the king of colors. I want to see bright red airplanes flying through the sky in Canada and in the United Kingdom and in all the Commonwealth. I want to see bright red airplanes. I want to see bright red helicopters. I want to see everyone wearing red, period. It's called Red Day, in the name of love, to the glory of the Trinity. Where we fly red airplanes. The Snowbirds are a very famous aerial acrobatics team here that in Abbotsford at the air show. I believe their color is red. They're the quintessential Canadian flight squad. I believe their colors are red, as it should be, because Canada is red. But I want to see solid red. I don't see very many airplanes that are solid red. Okay, like solid cherry red, like so that it's pure red. It just looks like a candy that you want to shove in your mouth. I tell you, whatever person, whatever businessman jumps on this and starts a solid red airline and makes sure the name is mathematically glorious, you know, what would I call the Canadian Canadian airline? What would I call a Canadian airline that was solid red? I would call it the most simple thing you possibly can. Red Aeroplane. I'm serious. Call it the Red Aeroplane Company. There. It's that perfect. Make it that simple. Every word I just spoke divides by 3. The is 33. Red is 27. Together they make 60 in 6 letters, and 3 plus 3 letters of 9 plus 9 strokes apiece. Boom. Okay. The Red Aeroplane. Now that adds to 144. 12 times 12. And the number of letters is still dividing by 3. And then the word company divides by 3 as well. So that's the name of the new great airline company of the world. Here it is. The Red Aeroplane Company. Boom. And every word divides by 3 to the glory of the Trinity. And red is the king of colors. You paint the airplanes solid red. From tip to tip, wing to wing, top to bottom. And all the flight attendants wear solid, gorgeous red. And all the seats on the inside are a deep royal red. And the red carpet, remember carpet divides by 3. You literally roll out, here's where you'll get this, you'll like this now. Now you roll out a red carpet for the passengers when they get off the plane. And you actually do. You got one of the servers, one of the stewards that actually has a red carpet that gets rolled out. And you actually roll it out. You know, every airport you go to. It doesn't have to be long, it's just the matter of the principle. Okay, maybe it's 30 feet long, maybe it's 10 feet long, doesn't matter. But they literally have this thing in the plane, a red carpet to roll out. It's nice velvety. And when they dock the plane, said steward or stewardess takes this red carpet, comes to the door of the plane that goes into the gangway, and they literally roll out the red carpet, and the red carpet has branded in nice shiny velvety letters, the Red Aeroplane Company. And people are just so happy, singing their heads off in this red fest. They're just like, I don't know why I'm happy, but this place is so full of love, it's not even funny. You can stick the word little in front if you want, or the word big. The Big Red Airplane Company, or the Little Red Airplane Company. You could start as the Little Red Airplane Company, and eventually God will make you big, and then you can change it to the Big Red Airplane Company. And people will just be like throwing their money at you, jumping on board, saying this company has so much love in it. All the stewardesses and all the flight attendants are just smiling. They got red lipstick on, they got like red hair, they got like red hats, they got like red, like all red outfits, they got cute red, they got bright red shoes, they're walking on the red carpet, we got red seats, they serve red wine, they're serving red juice for the kids. Everyone's just singing their heads off in the name of love as they fly in the little red airplane through the clouds. And everyone down below is like, man, that's like the most dramatic airplane I've ever seen. It's bright cherry red. And they're like, I want to fly in a red airplane. Get me on a red airplane. I've had enough of this garbage. It's over. I need to fly in the king of colors. Get me on a red airplane. None of this nonsense anymore. Even the wheels are red. It's like even the runway is red. You know, it's like we're painting the roses red. We're painting. Okay, I gotta plug in this video camera because, by the way, of course, by Divine Ordinance, when you have a video camera, you've got the record light, and it's always written in red. The record button is red. The text that I see on the display is record, which divides by 3, and that's red, because red is the king of colors. And whenever you see the word live on a video broadcast, there's always that flashing red light. We're live. Red, red, red. So I'm telling you, someone has to start the red aeroplane company and the red helicopter company. And it's all based on the color red. And everything is red. Like, everything is red. The napkins on the airplane are red. And I'm talking a royal red. And then you brand them with a gorgeous, velvety, shiny, shimmery R. Just use the letter R everywhere. Just an R. And you even write the word red on the side of the planes. And people are just like, I want to go on that thing. I don't know why, but I just want to go on the red airplane. I want the red airplane. And again, all the waitresses wear beautiful, solid red. Okay? Complete with red shoes and red hats. Okay? Even the pilot and the co-pilot wear red. Okay? The carpets are red. The seats are red. Now, would we want red lights in the interior? That's a bit weird. Probably stick with white lights. You could have red runway lights down the center. I think that would be cool. Anytime you cast the same color of light onto an object that is that same color, it just pops it even more. For example, if you have a bed of roses or a bed of red flowers, if you illuminate them with red lighting at night, oh man, it's just through the roof. So if you have a red carpet down the runway inside the plane, you line it with red strip lighting. And it's just like, people don't want to leave. They're just like, man, this place is so beautiful. I just want to like live in this airplane. And then it's like, how many other red things can you think of? Now you start having fun with it. It's like, you know, red wine, obvious. You give every customer that is of legal drinking age a free glass of red wine when they fly on the red aeroplane company. You've just already just killed the market, because red wine is, of course, you know, a quintessential king drink. And you can serve it in red cups if you want it. Like, just, you know, glass, but fine. But seriously, just, you can give out red candies, red snacks. And notice that most of the king brands and king products of the world use the color red. For example, would you like a red Coca-Cola, man? It's the #1 soft drink in sales, you know, 10 times over the second runner-up. You know, would you like a pack of Skittles, child? Or man, in my case, I'll eat Skittles. Skittles is like the king of candies. Check the surveys, check the stats. Skittles is the favorite candy of youths in the United States. Kit Kat is the king chocolate bar. I had a Kit Kat the other day. Kit Kat Gold 72 is bright red. Okay? So on this airplane, you can provide red Kit Kats. You can provide red bags of Skittles. You can provide red Coca-Cola. You can provide red cream soda. That's my favorite soft drink. And you have to be in Canada for it to be red. Aha. You can pass out red Canadian flags. You can eat red jelly beans, red licorice, Twizzlers. It's like, what else can you think of that's red that you could put in an airplane company? You know, red luggage, just beautiful red interior. It's royal. People will just feel royal in there. I'm like, it doesn't cost you anymore to have the interior red. It doesn't cost you anymore to have the exterior red. But make it red. You'll win. I'm telling you, you'll win. Okay? And people will be happy. And they'll be thrilled. And once they understand the glory of the Triune God, they'll worship God at the same time. Red is the color of love. We all know that. Well, why don't we paint the airplanes red? It's like that cheesy Disney scene off of the, I can't remember. We're painting the roses red. We're painting the roses red. Why is a rose associated with love? Because rose is red. Because rose is red. Well, why don't we paint more things red? If love is king, God is love, The conclusion for humanity is obvious. Paint everything red. Paint it red. Change it red. I'm preaching to myself. Why do I have this green shirt on? It should be red. I'm putting on a red shirt right now, and I already know you're going to agree that I look better in red than I did in green. There. It costs me nothing to put on a red shirt rather than a green shirt, but I think you'll agree that I look better in red than I did in green. Red is POW. Red is king, the king of colors. So, let's paint everything red. It's an obvious conclusion. What's the best color for a sports car? Red. By the way, Chevrolet equals love plus love. Corvette equals the same number, love plus love, and you can find the loves. And red equals half a love. Well, the conclusion is simple. A red Chevrolet Corvette is love plus love plus love plus love plus half a love. But it has to be red. It has to be red. It can't be any other color if you want it to be the king. So, if that's the case with the red Corvette, why don't we do the same thing with helicopters and airplanes and all cars and houses and clothing and people and items and everything? Okay. To the glory of the Triune God, and you'll love it. I mean, I'm loving red like crazy. I'm loving red as I put this thing on. I got a pair of red shoes. And I got that word from the Holy Ghost. Red shoes divides by 3. Okay, red is 27, SH is 27, then O is 15, ES 39. The whole thing adds to 93, I believe. Red shoes. Okay. What made the Wizard of Oz story so famous? Well, it was Dorothy's red shoes. And if you read the history on that, they originally were going to go silver shoes, but something happened at the last minute and they went red, and they realized long after the fact, man, if we hadn't gone red shoes, this never would have been nearly as famous as it was. Red is the king of colors. Okay, so now that we've proven that red is the king of colors, how does mankind apply this to our lives? Like, God loves red like crazy. Okay. Now that we've proven that red is the king of colors, how do we apply this to our lives? Well, it's obvious. We buy red clothing. We wear red clothing. We paint things red. We start a company called the Red Aeroplane Company, and we spell aeroplane correctly for the maximum mathematical glory of the Triune God. Okay? It's not complicated. Of course, the word paint divides by 3, so paint red. Painting red divides by 3. What is paint again? It's pairwise 3s from the inside out with I at the center dividing by 3. It is 24, it's 60 perfectly. Okay? Pairwise 3s from the I at the center. 3 times 3, 15, 36. Paint. So, paint red, or red paint. And then an obvious one is a red hydrant. Okay? You can have something that's called a fire hydrant, or you can just have a hydrant, period. Hydrant divides by 3, red divides by 3, and then red fire hydrants divides by 3. Okay? Fire truck divides by 3, so red fire truck divides by 3. Ambulance divides by 3, so red ambulance divides by 3. Hello. Red is the king of colors. It's the top of the rainbow. It's the top of every traffic light in the story of God. So what should you do? I'm just saying, what should people do now that they know that red is the king? Buy red products. Start red products. Color your company red. Wear red clothes. Paint your house red. Paint your room red. Get more red in your life. Red is the color of love. Live a life of love. And promote the color red everywhere you go. To the glory of the Trinity. Wear red. Start companies. Paint, do interior design. It's all red. Put the word love all over the place. The Red Aeroplane Company. Someone does it, and they could say the Red Aeroplane Company of Canada, because then those words also divide by 3. The Red Aeroplane Company of Canada. It'll be successful. And all the airplanes are bright, beautiful, cherry red. The most, it's like the Queen has arrived. I'm telling you. The airports where you see all the planes taxiing And if you get the side view and you see all the planes kind of lined up in taxi format at all the different gates where they're going to receive their passengers, can you imagine seeing a bright, royal, solid red airplane, just like a candy, taxiing into position in the midst of all these cheesy white and like weird branded and like kind of bluish and just white, plain, boring things. Here comes the solid red queen herself. Everyone's just like, the red has arrived. And everyone else just looks like a boring, ordinary, boring, dumb plane. But when Miss Red arrives, or the giant perfect red airplane arrives, it's like, finally, an airplane that I can sink my teeth into. It's gorgeous, and it looks royal, and it looks majestic, and it's eye-popping, and it's eye-catching, and it says, look at me, I'm red. And all the other airplanes just fade into the background, and everyone that's anyone wants to go on the red airplane. And they're throwing their money to get on the red airplane. It's a giant love fest. Okay? And on that airplane they supply red letter Bibles that have the red letters of Jesus. So anyone that comes onto the red airplane company can read the most famous red of all time. Every seat in the airplane has red letter Bibles so that people can read the red letters while they fly in the red airplane company. And we have what is called happiness on earth rather than stupidity and low-level flying, to choose an appropriate term giving the context. Okay. So, and then you can start the red helicopter company. You get the idea. Okay, so red is, that's so cool. Seriously. Seriously. Jump on that, people. Jump on that. Okay, I'm excited about red. I want to paint things red. I want to find more red things today. Okay. Seriously, folks, as an obvious example, if you show these two items to a child or any human being on planet Earth, which one are they going to pick? They're going to pick the red one. A red lollipop trounces every other color. When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? Everyone knows that red is king. Red candies are king. So, baptize the whole world in red. Paint everything red. Color everything red. Choose red. There you go. It's going to be a fun day. It's Mother's Day, by the way. You know, show some love for mom. If you're going to choose flowers to give to a woman, don't fail this pop quiz now. Okay, we've just gone through half an hour of teaching on this. If you're going to get flowers for your wife, what color do you think they should be? Red. Roses. Because red, rose. Both words divide by 3. Yeah, red is the king of colors, so what is the king of flowers? A red rose. There you go. What else will you find that's red that you can give to someone else in the name of love? What will you paint that's red? Paint. I live in Canada by Divine Ordinance, and our flag is red. Okay? The red maple leaf, and it's all based on a red. So, I can't wait to find some more reds today. Some more winning red things today. It's going to be a fun day. Happy Mother's Day. May 10th, 2015. It is now approaching 9 a.m. It's 8:09 in the morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. Find love today. And find some fun red things. And choose red. Paint some things red. Create some red stuff today. Do something with red. I don't care what it is. Baptize your whole house. Folks, I kid you not, I have delivered newspapers and I see a variety of houses. There are houses that have bright red doors. And every time I see one, I love it. A bright red door. It's friendly. It's cheerful. It's like the perfect color. Paint your house door red today. Do something. Do something with red. Seriously, someone start that company, the Red Aeroplane Company. It'll be successful. Start companies that are red. Do everything red.